I won't get better if you don't tell me what I'm doing wrong. So that's why I just love Coach Barnes. And he's so young, he's really personable, and I just think that all those reasons together make him a great coach. Off the field, though, just like laid back. I don't do too much. If I'm not playing football and schoolwork, if I'm not doing schoolwork, I might just be hanging out with my friends, either doing an activity outside of the house, or usually we're playing the game though. That's kind of the main reason why at the end of the day I chose Penn State, just because how strong our connection is.
Welcome back into the Penn State Pulse. I'm your host, Dawson, and joining me today is new Penn State football commit Jackson Ford. He is a four-star defensive end who plays for Malvern Prep out in Eastern PA. Jackson, thanks for joining me today, man.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So you made your commitment to Penn State Public last Friday now. You were also considering Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Michigan down the stretch. So what separated Penn State from those other options?
I feel like the connections that I built at Penn State were much stronger. My connections at Michigan and Wisconsin were definitely strong, but I feel like I've been building this connection with Coach Barnes and Coach Franklin for about a year now, and they've been relentless throughout the whole process, whether it's recruiting me or even recruiting my family. And I felt like that really showed towards the end of my recruitment, and that's kind of the main reason why at the end of the day I chose Penn State, just because how strong our connection was.
And you mentioned Coach Deion Barnes. Could you talk a little bit about your relationship with him?
Yeah, me and Coach Barnes, again, been building the relationship for about a year, and I think he's one of the most honest coaches that I've talked to. A lot of coaches, they like to gas you up and kind of make you bigger than you are and kind of sell you a dream. But Coach Barnes, he just keeps it honest, and he keeps it classy. He's not gonna lie to you. He's gonna tell you what it is. On my OV, we didn't look at any of my highlights. We looked at all my bad plays and what he's gonna do to fix that, and how he can help me improve on all my weak points in my game. And that's just something that me personally, I love from a coach, someone that can tell me what I need to hear and not be worried about hurting my feelings, because at the end of the game, it's I won't get better if you don't tell me what I'm doing wrong. So that's why I just love Coach Barnes, and he's so young, he's really personable, and I just think that all those reasons together make him a great coach.
Right. You told Chad Simmons that all three of those other finalists were each ahead of Penn State at some point in the cycle. So how did Penn State staff keep your interest in the school high and ultimately win your recruitment?
Yeah, so there definitely was a point with my recruitment where all those schools were ahead of Penn State at one point or another. And I think the way that Penn State kind of just steadily stayed there was, again, the connection. They stayed genuine throughout the whole year that we were talking. They kept the same energy from Coach Franklin to Coach Barnes to Coach Bryant, same energy throughout the whole recruiting process. And I think that is that shows volumes, especially if you're able to do it for a year. I think that speaks greatly about a program and the people inside the program. And I think for me and my family, that was the main reason why towards the end of the stretch, Penn State, got ahead.
Mm-hmm. You grew up watching Penn State football and living just a few hours down the road from campus. So could you tell me about the importance and maybe the impact of playing for your in-state school?
Right. I feel like playing for the in-state school, it's not only is it a dream because you grow up watching them, you watch all the great players that came before you, and that are doing great things still, and it kind of it's a motivator, but it's also something that you don't think will happen. A lot of people dream big. A lot of kids want to go to the NFL, but there's a point in time where you're oh, maybe I won't go to the NFL, but having it actually be an opportunity, oh, I got an offer from Penn State, oh, now I'm committed to Penn State, now I get to play for Penn State soon. It's a surreal feeling, and it's not a dream anymore. It's a legacy that I have to go carry on, and that's something that I'm really excited for my college journey, and I really can't.
Right. I forget if Malvern does early enrollees or not. Are you able to enroll in January?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. And you received your offer from Penn State about this time last year after a really good performance at their Whiteout camp. So could you talk a little bit more about that and then how everything has come full circle for you?
Yeah, so last year Whiteout camp, it was one of I think I was one of like one of the times in my life where I was the most nervous, like ever.
Mhm.
I really couldn't like they so we had there was the last bash before, and we got invited to the last bash. We were there with Coach Barnes, and we were like eating food and playing around with the other recruits. And I remember like not really being able to eat because I was like super nervous. Like, and I was like everyone was enjoying the last bash, but all I could think about was the camp because all the kids at the last bash like had their offer, either were going to the school or planned it, and I was like had no offer, didn't really have any offers actually. Was nervous this is my second time at Penn State. I was there last year for a camp with my teammates. But this is like my only time I've been by myself, so I'm just shaking in my boots. I had my family with me. I wanted to do good for them, so I was extremely nervous. And then we get to the camp, like the camp portion, and I don't know what happened. I just like locked in, like all my nerves went away, and I was just like so focused on getting like an offer. I just wanted to do the best I possibly could. And I think I had like my best performance ever. I ran like a 4.6. Broad was crazy. My 5.10.5 was probably my best. I think it was like 4.4 something, 4.5. Um, and then I remember I couldn't stay for the whole camp because I had a family. I had a family emergency. So Coach Barnes was like very like understanding with that, and he pulled me to the side and he let me work one on one with them. And I
Mhm.
was like, then it was like really time to grind. And we were like busting through these drills. We finished up the drills. He pulled me aside and he tells me to like stay where I'm at. And I'm like, oh snap! Like I don't know, if it's a good sign or a bad sign. And then I just see Coach Franklin come through the door. He's walking right towards us, and he's like, I meet Coach Franklin. Like crazy feeling. I've never met Coach Franklin. I was like, that's insane.
Mhm.
Um, and then he was like, man, you put on a show today. We would love to offer you. Like Coach Franklin himself. Usually it's the position coach, but the head coach came down and offered me. And that was probably like one of the happiest moments of my life. And I remember like tearing up. I didn't cry. I didn't cry. My mom said I cried. I didn't cry. I just teared up a little. But yeah, it was probably one of the happiest moments of my life. And then just being able to do that in front of my family, and then also being able to meet the head coach and take pictures with all the coaches. That yeah, probably one of like the best moments of my life. And I thought it was a great way to start, my high school career. Getting offers and all that. So
Mhm.
it was definitely a surreal feeling, and one moment I won't ever forget.
Yeah. So was that your very first offer, your first D1 offer?
It wasn't my first D1 offer. It was my first Power Four offer.
Okay. So still a very
Yeah,
large, big moment for you. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yep. Could you give me a self-scouting report on Jackson Ford, both on and off the field?
I feel like on the field, I'm definitely high motor, high energy, very physical. I feel like that's one of the most important parts of my game, my physicality, and then my explosiveness, like just how fast I go, and just like my pop off the ball or exploding into the air. Um, off the field though, just like laid back. I don't do too much. If I'm not playing football and schoolwork, if I'm not doing schoolwork, I might just be hanging out with my friends, either doing an activity outside of the house or usually we're playing the game though. But I mean that's majority. I don't do too much.
All right. Any hobbies or maybe special interests outside of football?
Hobbies, two main hobbies. I like to build Legos, and then I like to read and collect comic books like DC and Marvel.
Are there any commits in the 2026 class that you're especially excited to play alongside?
Yeah, definitely excited to play with the guys from Harrisburg. Messiah Mickens, he was my 77 teammate, and then um, Mikkel. He's not a commit though, but he's offer. But definitely Messiah though. He was my former teammate. He was telling me to come to Penn State every time we were at a tournament, or just whenever. And yeah, I love Messiah, so I'm very excited to play with him.
Yeah, I've met him as well. He's a really nice kid. And then is there anyone you're recruiting to join you at Penn State?
Yeah, obviously my teammates at Malvern got it. We have two kids with Penn State offers, and then there's a guy in Delaware, Wadik Cooler. I definitely want him to flip to Penn State. I feel like he's one of my friends, and I would love to play with him.
We're gonna go rapid fire for the last few questions here. Favorite music artist?
Yeah, Drake,
Okay. Favorite food?
Pasta,
Dream vacation?
Tokyo, Japan.
Okay. And do you have an NFL team?
The Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles.
And is there another sport you could have seen yourself playing at this level if football wasn't an option?
Um, Tennis. I'm really at tennis.
Well, I appreciate you joining me today, Jackson. That is going to do it for this episode of the Penn State Pulse, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.